James Twin for the untouchable true school sports. Let's go, baby. Bow!
Be careful what you wish for because it can become a reality.
Yeah. The untouchable true school sports empire and all that blase. Now listen, guys, this is my official Jaron Ennis versus Usima Lima post-fight review. You know, I'm at the airport right now. I'm getting ready to go back home. It's been a long 44 days here in the Bay Area, so looking forward to getting back home and giving you guys consistent world-class boxing content. You know, I haven't really put anything out in the last week because I've been taking a bit of a break, but just want to come here and get my quick thoughts on this fight because, man, we talked a whole bunch of trash about this matchup because, you know, it was what it was. A lot of people, particularly in the Boots fan base in Philadelphia, they were trying to convince a lot of us sane, rational boxing fans that, you know, that chicken shit was chicken salad. And truth be told, you know, Usima Lima not only was he who we thought he was, but he was actually worse. You know, I thought he would at least take Boots some rounds and be a little durable, but no, the first time he got hit, you know, it was curtains for him. So look, good fighter. You know, he steps up to the plate. He fights guys in their hometowns, undefeated guys. But, you know, as the great ancient urban philosopher from Philadelphia, Meek Mill, once said, there's levels to this shit. And his level was severely shown quickly and swiftly against Jaron Ennis. So, you know, there's not a whole lot to break down. There's not a whole lot to dissect. Jaron Ennis knocked out Lima in one round. It is a statement. You know, it's the dream, like, debut at 154. But that's got to be it. Like, let's be real, guys. That's got to be it. After this, you know, Jaron Ennis and Eddie Hearn got to stop scamming the public and give us those big fights. You know, Vergil Ortiz, Bakram Murtazaliev, Xander Zayas, you know, Fundora. These are the kind of fights that we're looking for. And anything short of that in his next fight is disgraceful. He's 35-0 with 31 knockouts. It's a great record. We all know the talent that he is. So now we want to see that talent put on display against, you know, the best fighters in the division and see if he really is what a lot of us thought he was all these years. But you know, great performance. There's nothing to hate on. Happy for him. Philly versus Angola, the biggest rivalry in boxing is over, and it didn't last very long. It only lasted 2 minutes. And yeah, happy trails to Lima. It's gonna be a long, painful flight home for him. But you know, Boots called out Vergil Ortiz, and he pretty much said, like, look, I want those big fights. He wants to make it happen, but, you know, talk is cheap. So we'll see what happens. Vergil has a fight against Eric Salubin coming up next. He needs to win that fight, or I'm talking hella crazy about him because Eric Salubin is better than Lima, that's for sure, but he's not as great as a lot of people make him out to be. Vergil should beat Lubin. Honestly, he really should be beating Lubin, especially because Lubin has been through some wars and, you know, Lubin makes a lot of mistakes. But anyway, he needs to get through his fight against Lubin, and then if he does that, then we should have a big fight next. There shouldn't be no wasting time. I don't want to hear about, oh, well, you know, Vergil doesn't have a title and Boots doesn't have a title. No, I don't want to hear about Boots fighting Abbas Barov. No, you're 35-0. You got 35 fights. Take them training wheels off, and the same goes for Vergil. Boots has to take the training wheels off, and Vergil has to take the training wheels off. I'm really, like, I don't got a dog on the race at this point. I'm a big fan of both of them, but I'm equally frustrated because they both have had their fair share of, you know, just bullshit going on with their careers and how they didn't move. So my patience is like this thin with both of them. So great performance, you know. Boots looks stronger at the weight, but at the same time, it's like, I'm not trying to downplay the win, but I got to call a spade a spade. Usima Lima was so outgunned. He was so outclassed that we can clearly see Boots is still strong and sharp and fast and all the things he was at 47. But, like, it's kind of hard to gauge it because he fought Usima Lima. Let's be real. So I'm looking forward to seeing how his run at 154 progresses. You know, it's an encouraging first step. Good for him. But I got to see a little more. Honestly, like, I'm not gonna downplay it too much because, you know, he actually exceeded my expectations a little bit, but I'm not gonna hype it up either because he fought Usima Lima, right? So there's no need to go crazy about it. Jaron Ennis is a fantastic fighter. Vergil Ortiz is a fantastic fighter. But it's time to get to the smoke. It's time to get to the legacy fights. And I don't see why they can't be next. One last thing I wanted to make note of is to you guys in the Boots fan base that made a big deal about Lima, listen, I'm in the airport, so I don't want to yell exposed, but, you know, exposed. You know, you got exposed because a lot of us told y'all Lima wasn't really anything great. Y'all try to talk about he fought Aaron McKenna and he fought this guy. Listen, there's levels in boxing. Anybody who didn't have their Philadelphia Eagles, Flyers, or Sixers pom-poms, Boots Promotions pom-poms could have told you that he was not anywhere close in level to Jaron Ennis. But y'all wasn't trying to hear that. Y'all were trying to tell us that he was better than a lot of guys at 54. He's not. He's a fringe contender at best. And, you know, he was exposed severely. So a lot of y'all got exposed. You know, we all get exposed. You know, I've gotten exposed. You got exposed. But, like, this was one of the worst cherry picks I've seen in a long time, you know, for a main event, for a primetime slot. But, you know, it's part of the play from Matchroom, you know. Matchroom boxing in the USA has struggled mightily over the years as far as getting commercial appeal, and Boots is the best American fighter Eddie Hearn has maybe ever signed, possibly. So he's not going to, you know, he's not going to put him in there with anybody too tough until he has to. So, you know, I understand the game, but I'm letting y'all know what the real deal is. And I've been trying to tell y'all in my own clever, joking way that, you know, Philly versus Angola, I mean, I made fun of it, but it was my way of telling you guys that this fight sucks. And it was one-way traffic, and that's 2 minutes of my life I'll never get back. So, you know, it is what it is. But congrats to Boots, you know, for performing in front of his hometown. Again, it's not always easy to perform in front of the hometown fans. A lot of fighters have crumbled under that pressure. So it actually shows you that, you know, there is something about Boots that he can perform in front of his hometown. Because how many times have we seen guys fight a guy like Usima Lima and get crushed in their own hometown? So, you know, congrats to him on showing out and handling business, and hopefully we get these big fights next. But I'm about to get on this plane soon, guys. I'll be back home, so starting back on Monday, we'll be back on the regular schedule. Lives every day, lives every night, True School After Dark. You know, a lot of videos, a lot of things to talk about. So for those of you guys who have missed me on YouTube, training camp with Yugo Osaki in the Bay Area is done. You know, and I'm going back home to resume my normal life. So yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys Monday night for True School After Dark. We'll recap this fight and everything after in the aftermath of Boots versus Lima. And yeah, leave your comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Dania. So until next time, thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. For more great boxing content just like this, make sure you guys stay tuned and subscribe. You won't be disappointed.